Welcome all students to the course of Data Communication Networking B 7th semester Electronics and Communication Engineering. We are discussing a data link layer, a topic we are going to see over here, a data link control part 3. Up to now we have discussed protocols in a noiseless channels just like a simplest and stop and wait protocol. In our last session we have discussed a stop and wait ARQ protocol for our noisy channel. We continue our discussion with this go back and ARQ protocol for our noisy channel. So, go back and automatic repeat request. To improve the efficiency of our transmission, just like our filling a pipe, multiple frames must be in a transition while waiting for acknowledgement. In other words, we need to let more than one frame be outstanding to keep the channel busy while the sender is waiting for acknowledgement. In this section, we discuss one protocol that can be achieve this goal. In the next section, we discuss the second. The first is called as a go back and automatic repeat request, just over here. A rationale for the name will become later clear. In this protocol, we can send several frames before receiving an acknowledgement. We keep a copy of them until our acknowledgement arrive. So, starting with our sequence number. Frames from the sending station are numerical sequentially. However, because we need to include the sequence number for the each frame in the header, we need to set a limit. If the header of the frame allows m bits for the sequence number ranges from 0 to 2 raised to m minus 1. Let's take an example. If m is equal to 4, the only sequence number are 0 through 15 inclusive, means 2 raised to 4 minus 1. However, we can repeat the sequence. So the sequence numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 15. Then we just repeat our sequence number starting with 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. In other words, the sequence number are the modulo of 2 raised to m. So we can say that in go back and protocol, the sequence numbers are modulo 2 raised to m, where m is the size of the sequence number filled in a bits. In our last case, m is equal to 4, so that's why 0 to 15 are there. Okay. A concept of sliding window come into the picture in this protocol. In this protocol, the sliding window is an abstract concept that defines the range of sequence number that is concerned of the sender and the receiver. In other words, the sender and the receiver need to deal with only part of the possible sequence number. Okay, so it is shown over here. The range in which it is concerned of the sender is called as a sending sliding window, and the range which is concerned with the receiver is a receiving sliding window. Okay, we discuss over here. The send window is imaginary box covering the sequence number of the data frames which can be in transit. In each window position, some of this sequence number define the frames that have been sent. Okay, so frames sent over here, it is highlighted over here. The maximum size of the window is 2 raised to m minus 1. So the maximum size is 2 raised to m minus 1 for the reasons of our last discussion. In this chapter, we let the size of the fixed and set to the maximum value, but we will see in the future chapters that some protocols may have a variable window size. Our figure shows the sliding window of size 15, means m is equal to 4, 0 to 15. Okay. The window at anytime divides the possible sequence number into 4 regions. The first region from the left side is the left wall of the window, defines the sequence numbers belonging to the frames that are already acknowledged. Fine, so it is already acknowledged. A sender does not worry about these frames and keeps no copy of them. Our second region, this is our second region, colored in our yellow boxes, define the range of sequence number belonging to the frames that are sent and have unknown status, means our acknowledgement is not received. The sender needs to wait to find out these frames that have been received or were lost. We call this as a outstanding frames. Fine, so it is a outstanding frames. The third range, which shown unhighlighted area or white boxes, defines the range of sequence number of the frame that can be sent. However, the corresponding data packets have not yet been received from the network layer. Okay, so it is in a wait condition. Finally, the fourth region defines the sequence number that cannot be used until our window slides in this direction. Okay, so it is a unused frame, cannot be sent. The window itself is an abstraction. 3 variables define its size and location at any time. We call this variable as a SF, send window, the first outstanding frame, SF. Fine, so it is send window, first outstanding frame. Second parameter, SN, a send window, next frame to send, and S size, our window size, over here 15. The variable SF defines the sequence number of the first or oldest outstanding frame. The variable SN holds the sequence number that will be assigned to the next frame to be sent. Finally, the variable S size defines the size of the window, which is fixed in our protocol. Okay, in this case size is equal to 15. Okay, so we can say that the send window is an abstract concept defining the imaginary box size is equal to 2 raised to m minus 1 with 3 variables, SF, SN and S size. SF is a subscript. Fine, so over here you just correct this, SN is a subscript, SF and SN, F and N both are subscript, just like this S size. Okay, now figure B. Our figure B shows the send window after the sliding, means how a send window can slide one or more slots to the right side when an acknowledgement arrives from this side. Means 0, 1 and 2, the acknowledgement is arrived, so our window will slide in this direction. So another 3 steps will cover by this window. As we will shortly, the acknowledgement in this protocol are cumulative, means more than one frames can be acknowledged by one ACK frames. Our figure shows the frames 0, 1 and 2 are acknowledged, so the window has its slide to the right 3 slots as this. Note that the value of SF is now 3 because the frame 3 is now the first outstanding frame. So we can say that our send window can slide one or more slots when a valid acknowledgement arrives. The receiver window, as you can see in this figure, makes sure that the correct data frames are received and that the correct acknowledgements can be sent. The size of the received is always 1, means receiver window have only one size. The receiver is always looking for the arrival of the specific frame. Any frame arriving out of the order is discarded and needs to be resent. Our figure shows the receiver window, okay, over here. So the receiver window is an abstract concept defining an imaginary box of size 1 with one single variable Rn, over here Rn. The window slides when a correct frame is arrived. Sliding occurs one slot at a time. The receiver window and window after sliding means over here at the position of 3 Rn is there. After sliding Rn will be 4, this direction. Note that we need only one variable Rn, receiver window next frame expected, to define this abstraction. The sequence number to the left of the window belonging to the frames already received and acknowledged. The sequence number to the right of this window defines the frames that cannot be received. Okay. Only received frame with a sequence number in these two regions is discarded. Only a frame with a sequence number matching the value of Rn is accepted and acknowledged. The receiver window also slides, but only one slot at a time, okay, 3 to 4 or 4 to 5, not 0 to 3. When a correct frame is received and the frame is received only one at a time, the window slides. So it is clear to you that how our sliding window work with our figure. So before going for a further topic, let's discuss about timers and acknowledgement, resending a frame and design. So a timer, although there can be a timer for each frame is to send, in this protocol we use only one. The reason is that the timer for this first outstanding frame always expires first. We send all outstanding frames when this timer expires. Acknowledgement. The receiver sends a positive acknowledgement if our frame has arrived safe and sound in order. If a frame is damaged or received out of the order, our receiver is silent and will discard all the subsequent frames until it receives the one which it is accepting. The silence of the receiver causes the timer of the unacknowledged frame at the sender side to expire. This in turn causes the sender to go back and resend all frames beginning with the one with an expected time. A receiver does not have any acknowledged each frame when it is received. It can send one cumulative acknowledgement for the several frames. How to resend a frame? When our timer expires, the sender resends all the outstanding frames. For example, suppose the sender has already sent a frame number 6, but the timer frame expires in 3, means that the frame 3 has not been acknowledged. The sender goes back and sends frame 3, 4, 5 and 6 again. That's why the protocol is called as a go back and ARQ. Now you clear why this name happens? If this frame is not acknowledged, our protocol will go back and send all these remaining frames. Design. The design of our go back and repeat request protocol. We have discussed timer, acknowledgement and resending a frame. So it is a design of our go back and ARQ. See it carefully. Our figure shows a design of this protocol. As we can see, multiple frames can be in transit in the forward direction and a multiple acknowledgement in the reverse direction. Okay, a small frames are acknowledgement frames. Long frames are our data. The idea in the similar stop and wait ARQ, the difference is that the sender window allows us to use many frames in the transition as there are slots to send the window. Okay, so the difference is there are many frames. In our last protocol, only one frame is sent. Over here many frames can be sent or in transit state. So first and next you have already seen SF and SN. RNA also you know. Okay, frame has an acknowledgement number, data frame has a sequence number. There is a timer at our sender side. Okay, our send side window size. We can now show why a size of the send window must be less than 2 raised to m. As an example, we choose m is equal to 2, which means that the size of the window can be 2 raised to m minus 1 or 3, means 0, 1, 2. Our figure shows or compares the window of size 3 against a window of size 4, means a particular highlighted gray highlighted area is there at size of window 0, 1, 2, 3, means 3 is there, 0, 1, 2, 3 means 4 size is there. Okay, if the size of the window is 3 less than 2 raised to 2, all 3 acknowledgements are lost and the frame 0 timer expires, then all 3 frames are resent. Okay, so this is lost and then all 3 is resent. The receiver is now expecting the frame 3, not a frame 0, so the duplicate frame is correctly discarded. On the other hand, if the size of the window is 4 or equal to 2 raised to 2, all the acknowledgements are lost. The sender will send a duplicate frame 0. Okay. However, in this time the window of the receiver expects the receiver frame 0. So it accepts the frame 0 not as duplicated but as the first frame of the next cycle. This is an error. So you can say that in the go back and ARQ, the size of the send side must be less than 2 raised to m. The size of the receiver window is always 1. So what are the algorithms used in our protocol? Let's see the algorithm. It is a go back and sender algorithm. Algorithm used at a sender side. This algorithm first initiate 3 variables. Unlike our stop and wait ARQ, this protocol allows several requests from the network layer without the need for the other events to occur. We just need to ensure that a window is not full, means our line 12 data. In our approach, if the window is full, the request is just ignored and our network layer needs to try again. Some implementation use other methods such as enabling or disabling the network layer. The handling of the arrival event is more complex than the previous protocol. If we received a corrupt ACK, we ignore it. If the acknowledgement belongs to the one of the outstanding frames, we use a loop to purge the buffers and move the left wall to the right. The timeout event is also more complex. We first start the new timer. We then restart all the outstanding frames. Okay, so you can see the algorithm over here. Now go back and at our receiving side. Go back and at our receiver algorithm. This algorithm is simple. We ignore a corrupted or out of order frames. Fine. So we ignore the out of order and sequence number. If a frame arrives with an expected sequence number, we deliver the data, update the value of Rn, and send an acknowledgement with an acknowledgement number showing to the next frame expected. Okay, so very short algorithm at our receiving side. Let's have an example. For understanding this example, a figure must be in your mind. Yes, it is a figure of our example. This figure shows an example of go back n. This is an example of a case where a forward channel is reliable but a reverse channel is not. No data frames are lost, but an acknowledgement delayed or one of the acknowledgement is lost over here. Fine. Over here, orange blocks are to be considered for this example. The example also shows how cumulative acknowledgement can help if our acknowledgement is delayed or lost. After the initialization, there are 7 send event. Okay. How 7? 0 to 6 means 7 events are there. Request event are triggered by the data from the network layer. Arriving events is triggered by the acknowledgement from the physical layers. There is a no timeout event here because all outstanding frames are acknowledged before the timer expires. We assume that. Note that although the acknowledgement 2 is lost over here, acknowledgement 3 is serves as both SCK2 and SCK3. Fine, so it will serve as a SCK2 and SCK3. There are 4 receiver events. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3 and 4 receiving event. All triggered by the arrival of frames from the physical layers. Fine. Let's have another example. Yes. To understand this example, consider this figure. Yes, in this figure shows what happens when our frame is lost. Means this frame is lost, so what happens? Frames 0, 1, 2 and 3 are sent. Okay. However, our frame 1 is lost. The receiver receives the frame 2 and 3, but they are discarded because they are received out of the order. Means frame number 1 is expected, but we receive 2 and 3, so it will discard. So our Rn value in 1, so it not accept, it will discard our frame number 2 and 3. The sender receives no acknowledgement about the frames 1, 2 or 3. Okay. Its timer finally expires. The sender sends all the outstanding frames 1, 2 and 3 is the response to the one single event. So over here 1, 2, 3 in one single event. Okay. When a sender is responding to its event, it cannot accept the triggering of the other events. This means that when SCK2 is arrived, the sender is still busy with sending a frame 3. The physical layer must wait until this event is completed and the data link layer goes back to its sleeping state. We have shown a vertical line to indicate the delay over here. It is a total delay. It is the same story with acknowledgement 3, but when acknowledgement 3 arrives, the sender is busy with responding to acknowledgement 2. Fine. It happens again when acknowledgement 4 is arrived. Note that before the second timer expires, all outstanding frames have been sent and the timer is stopped. Okay. So all frames are successfully received at our receiving side and successfully acknowledged at our sender side. So this is clear to you, the go back and ARQ protocol. So in this discussion we have seen a detailed explanation of go back and ARQ. Let's revise in 1 minute. So in our go back and ARQ, a sliding window concept is there. Means our window will slide as per our sending frames and acknowledgement frames. Okay. Our receiving have only 1 bits, or Rn is equal to 1 at our receiving frames. So it is a general diagram. Many frames are sent simultaneously and many acknowledgement received data simultaneously. 3 important parameter: SF, SN and Rn. Okay, so there are algorithms. 2 examples we have seen: when acknowledgement is lost or delayed, and another example when our data is lost or delayed. Okay, so we have completed this go back and ARQ protocol. In the next session we are going to see the selective repeat request for the last protocol of our noisy channels as our listed in a first slide. Fine. Last protocol to be discussed in our next session. So it is a question for you. Write down in your notebook and send back it to me as per the given direction. Thank you all. See you in the next session.